Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a closer look at the IDW Collection. This is volume 3 with Leonardo on the cover. This one continues the story overall, and we finally get to meet Bebop and Rocksteady. So let's take a closer look at the book itself, and then we can come back and discuss things a bit further. Okay, so on the front of this one we've got Leonardo with the same kind of layout as the previous one. So we've got the kind of title at the top corner here, no kind of craters or anything on it. On the spine we've got 3 TMNT IDW, and this is blue to match Leonardo, but it says the same spines on all of them, so it matches up really nice on your shelf. It says here, violence and carnage rage across the city as Shredder's master plan unfolds. When tragedy strikes the Turtles, the brothers will have to hold the line against an attack from within, but with old allegiances shifting, they now must formulate a plan to fight against their deadliest enemy. Volume 3 collects issues 21 through 28 of the TMNT ongoing series, and Old Hob, Alopex, Karai, Bebop and Rocksteady, and Shredder micro series one-shots, plus the 2012 annual. And we've got Leonardo on the back here as well. Mine's taking a little bit of a dent on the corner here. So the book itself spreads out really well. There's a sewn spine like on all of these, and we do have the matching ribbon in blue. The art is fairly consistent throughout, apart from if you have some of the, as I say, one-shots, it's done by different artists. I believe this is done by the original artist, which is quite cool to see. And then after this, as I say, it just goes back to the sort of standard art throughout the book, which is what we've kind of got used to. I think the expressions were really cool in this book. You could really tell the personality differences between a lot of the turtles. You did get a lot of almost Raphael type moments out of Leonardo throughout the book, but he is a lot calmer. He doesn't show the same expression on his face, which is the biggest difference, I guess. Although he does let slip in the occasional kind of moment like this, where he looks kind of, let's say, very Raphael-esque. I do like this art of the kind of turtles overall, and it really shows, let's say, the kind of almost human expression on their faces. And then if we skip to the back, we just have the one sort of micro series cover there, and that's literally it for the back of the book. Alright, so I thought I'd just put these here just because I wanted to celebrate the fact that we finally got Bebop and Rocksteady in the book, or at least that's where I've got to, so that's cool. So the story progresses a bit further in this book for, I guess, some different kind of characters. We have an arc around Leonardo. I guess he's the main kind of character in this, and he basically gets sort of brainwashed by Shredder to work on his side of things, and we have a similar arc in this book to the first book, where it's the 3 remaining brothers kind of working together, but also kind of being like, what would the other brother have done, while trying to sort of save him and bring him back into the kind of fold. So that was fun, but a little bit repetitive, and Leonardo feels very much like a sort of Raphael character in this book. He does look badass, which you'll have seen in the kind of closer look, but as I say, I would have preferred him to have, I don't know, more leadership qualities kind of shining through even when he's being kind of bad. There's an arc around sort of Shredder's granddaughter, and as I say, she's trying to prove herself throughout. So she's kind of making alliances with different people and going off and doing kind of separate things. And one of the things that she does is takes some of the existing Foot Clan and basically puts them through a process that she's kind of come up with in order to get the best of the best in the group, and then finds a way to essentially turn them into Bebop and Rocksteady. So it's a really interesting kind of origin, and it's really fun. I don't really want to give you any more specifics on that because I feel like that's already a little bit spoilery. There's a local gang to Casey Jones which him and the Turtles have kind of been friendly with, but I believe Casey Jones' dad used to be a member of that gang, or those older people who used to be a member of that gang, and he kind of gets himself somewhat together and then tries to take over that gang again. So we have a kind of arc there of like, you know, do they fall into line with him, who's his allegiances to, you know, what's that gang kind of do forward, and is he actually in any way remorseful towards what he's done to kind of Casey. So it's not one story, you've got 3 or 4 kind of arcs pulling forward as you kind of go through. It's an enjoyable book overall, and I'm just really enjoying all these sort of origins being sort of trickled in as we go throughout. There's a few other little bits of characters changing sides and things, but I don't really want to spoil that. As I say, the book is just full of loads of little kind of Easter eggs and tie-ins and crossovers between story arcs and stuff. The single issues are spread throughout where they best kind of fit. There was only one moment, I think, with one of them where I read a bit of an arc in it, and then it kind of somewhat retells the arc in the main story. I want to say that is the origin of Bebop and Rocksteady, so you almost get 2 different tellings of that story. As I say, it's fine, it's not in any way kind of off-putting to the overall book, but it's the only moment where I was like, oh, I've kind of somewhat read this, whereas previously, you know, in the previous 2 books, just read kind of clean through. So, as I say, I've enjoyed the books overall. In the first book we had, you know, our introduction to, I guess, main key characters. Second book kind of started expanding that a bit more, and now, as I say, we've got Bebop and Rocksteady. So I'm all ready to move on to book 4, and then I guess I'll have to start ordering more in so that I can kind of keep reading these. But I'd highly recommend checking it out, and as I say, I'm trying to hold back as much as I can because I don't want to be spoiling all the kind of key little changes and things. But this is probably the best, you know, sort of Turtles experience out there right now. So if you haven't checked this out, I definitely give it a try. Even just buy book 1, each kind of arcs are somewhat self-contained, so you could buy a random volume if you really wanted to, but it might throw you just a little bit. Whereas, as I say, buy book 1, try it out. If you like it, continue reading. If you don't, then, you know, cut your losses and kind of sell it off. But you don't need to buy the whole run to enjoy it or get an idea of if you kind of enjoy it. Alright guys, share this video with your friends if you think they'd like to know a bit more about these hardcovers of the Turtles. Comment below if you've picked this up, or say if you're reading it in any kind of format, and if you were as excited as I was to see Bebop and Rocksteady finally in the book. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one. As I say, if you have any specific books that you've seen kind of behind me you want me to kind of cover, or, you know, so you want to have a bit of a further discussion in the comments with each other, you know, feel free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.